What it do? Ian Garry Hate Crew. How's it going, everyone? Today, we are going to be breaking down and predicting and betting on UFC 330. Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Garry. I know, I mean, this card is actually one of the worst cards the UFC has ever put out there as a pay-per-view. But for some reason, the early prelims, by looking at the early prelims, you would genuinely think we're looking at a generational card because the first fight of the night, not you. Oh, yeah, baby. We got Jeremiah Wells versus Mike DeBeck, the woolly mammoth hunter himself, Oral Bly, baby. I mean, just look at my mammoth hunter, bro. He's gonna walk shit down, and I think this is gonna be a very quick night for this fight. Honestly, I think that Oral Bly is coming off a nasty win against Jack Hermanson, just a brutal knockout. But the reason that fight doesn't mean a ton to me is because not only was it two weight divisions of lighter man skill, I don't believe Jack Hermanson should have ever been at welterweight. Yeah, I think he was just too drained. I think he also might have missed weight for that fight as well. But, yeah, I'm going to be taking Mike DeBeck Oral Bly in this fight. I think he's just all around the better fighter. I think if he wants to take this to the ground, he will. I think that if he wants to keep this standing, he will, if Jeremiah Wells wants to be the one that takes it down. So for this fight, my bet for this fight that will be being placed is a Mike DeBeck Oral Bly knockout. I might sprinkle first round knockout as well, but I could see Jeremiah Wells taking some shots. He's not a terrible fighter himself, but I just think that there is levels, and I think that Oral Bly is the much better fighter here. Second fight on the card. Another fight where you're like, oh shit. Not because either of you guys are super top level, but because of who they are. Neil Magny versus Ramez Brahimaj. Now, both of these guys are coming off of a loss. And Neil Magny is seen as this sort of gatekeeper, with a bunch of his losses coming to guys who are going to be at the top of the division. Carlos Prates, Michael Morales, guys like that who are going to knock him out because they are just much better, more talented fighters. I don't believe Ramez Brahimaj is that. I think that through the first round and a half, Brahimaj will be doing. I think the fight will be going his way. But at the same time, I don't think that his cardio is going to be there when someone is cockroaching their way out of a bunch of danger. Neil Magny can absolutely get caught on the chin and be put out if Brahimaj finds that shot. So there is that aspect to it. But I just think Neil Magny is going to cockroach his way to a win here. I think it's going to be by third round stoppage. I think he's going to find the back of Brahimaj, and I think he's going to submit him from there. I think it's going to be a longer fight, probably go to the third round. I don't see this fight ending really quick. But for Magny, I think that, especially as an underdog, oh, fuck, I'm yawning so much. Especially as the underdog here, I just think these odds for Neil Magny are pretty decent. Next fight on the card, we have Rafael Tobias coming against Lucas Fernando. Now, Rafael Tobias is like a legit UFC fighter. Like, he does belong here. But there's something about Lucas Fernando's how how able he is to fight. Whether the fight be on the feet, in the clinch, against the fence, on the ground, if he's in a bad spot, he's always looking to find ways to damage, and especially finding ways when he's in a bad position to keep himself safe. What the hell? But for this fight, I don't see Tobias being able to stand with Fernando. And I think this is going to be a pretty back and forth fight on the feet when it stays there. But when it goes to the ground, I think there is going to be an advantage for Lucas Fernando. And that's why I'm going to be taking him in this fight by decision. 29-28, maybe even a split decision. Even though it's light heavyweight, I just don't believe either of these guys has absolute one-punch power. And for the early prelims, if I were to throw down a parlay, it would be Lucas Fernando moneyline, Neil Magny moneyline, and Orobai by knockout. Next fight on the card, Vicente Luque versus Tresean Gore. Now, in this fight, Vicente Luque, I do believe, is the more skilled of the two. But I'm a big fan of Vicente Luque. I'm just very nervous that there's going to be a physicality difference in this fight where Tresean Gore is not just a fat fuck like Kelvin Gastelum, who physically, who's literally just fat. That's what Kevin Gastelum is and was. And Tresean Gore is actually built to be a middleweight. He's not a fat bantamweight like Kelvin Gastelum. Vicente Luque easily handled Kevin Gastelum by going to the ground and finding the submission. I just don't believe it's going to be as easy in this fight versus Tresean Gore. But I do believe in the experience factor for Vicente Luque. So for this fight, I'm going to be picking him as like the slight underdog. My reasoning behind this is obviously the experience difference. I just also believe that coming up to middleweight, Vicente Luque's chin is going to be better. It wasn't tested against Gastelum, but I just think that Vicente Luque's experience, as well as being lighter man skill, is going to just give him the ability in scrambles when they're there. And I also think the quickness is going to be a factor that plays a role in this fight. So I'm going to be taking Vicente Luque. I think he's going to find a submission in round 2. Next fight on the card, Dante Johnson versus Eric McConaughey. Eric McConaughey in this fight is kind of a sacrificial lamb. Dante Johnson undefeated, unbelievable power in his hands. I think he's going to find Eric McConaughey's chin early, and I think this is going to be a quick night. I think this is going to be a first-round knockout for Dante Johnson. I just believe, while they could have obviously given him a better matchup to build him up more, like they could have given him like a Rodolfo Bellato or something, like something that's actually just a joke. But instead, they give him Eric McConaughey, who's, I mean, he's not Bellato. He's decent. I just think that the hands of McConaughey drop a bit too much from flinches. I could see, especially because Dante Johnson is going to be the shorter guy, so he's going to be able to rip to the body a bit more at level instead of having to duck down and then go like most light heavyweights have to do. So he's going to be able to, without ducking, rifle jabs right to the solar plexus of McConaughey. And I believe as the fight goes, as these shots keep going to the solar plexus, to the sternum, into the stomach of Makhachev. I believe the flinches are going to draw the hands down for an overhand right for Deontay Johnson to come in and absolutely lay Eric Makhachev out. But because of what I just said, I was saying I was going to take him by first round knockout. I just talked myself into making it a second round knockout because I think it's going to take a couple. I think it's going to take a couple of shots for the body shots to start taking effect, where Makhanekow's like, fuck, I got to block these. And I think it's just going to be the advantage here that he's 4 inches, 5 inches the smaller guy with the same reach. A lot of times people be like, oh, being the bigger guy's an advantage. Not when you have this much of a power disadvantage. In this fight, I just believe that Deontay Johnson's going to have just too much for the body of Eric Makhachev, and I believe it's going to open up a massive shot to the head that puts Eric Makhachev down in round 2. Next fight on the card. What the fuck is he doing with his hair? Just bald as shit here. And then, like, he's got the... He's literally just missing the front of the Neil Magny cut. Anyway, Charles Johnson versus Eduardo Chapolin. Eduardo Chapolin literally looks like he's wearing gym shorts, like and1 basketball shorts. And I'm a huge, huge fan of Charles Johnson. Bigger fan of Joshua Van. I don't know if I'm even like allowed to say I'm a fan of Charles Johnson. But Charles Johnson, sick fighter, has amazing wins in his career. Got wins over the current champ Josh Van. Got wins over a knockout win over Josh Van. A knockout win over Loner Kavanaugh. He's got serious power for the flyweight division. But in his last 2 fights, he's been knocked out and submitted by Suluev Stretch. Granted, this fight is coming pretty short after the Suluev Stretch because he obviously didn't take much damage. It's a submission, and it was like a first-round submission, so it wasn't much on the feet. I just don't know anymore with Charles Johnson. There used to be, oh, this guy's an absolute cheeky underdog pick that can finish anyone in the flyweight division. While I still think he can finish anyone in the flyweight division, Eduardo Chapolin is good. He is very good. He's also got a stupid reach. Like, you just look at his arms. Watching him on the regional scene in the amateurs. This might be the one time Charles Johnson at flyweight has the shorter jab. I just think Eduardo Chapolin in this fight is going to be able to stay safe against Charles Johnson for the most part. I don't believe that he, because of his height, like Loner Kavanaugh and Josh Van had to do, they didn't have to come in where Charles Johnson can throw the uppercut and the bombs. I believe he's going to be able to stay more outside, which does tend to give Charles Johnson more problems than people who are right up against him. So, for this fight, I'm going to give me the underdog of Eduardo Chapolin. I just think that he's going to cause problems that Charles Johnson hasn't seen in a while. Just being able to stay at the distance and throw hands. Now, this is where my film watching comes into play. Joel Alvarez, it's your turn. You're the new Spanish guy that has to get the win that gets talked about. Although Ilia Topuria is still a huge star, this is a setup fight. An absolute setup fight. We're not going to be calling him Chitty after this fight. We're going to be calling him Chinny. I think Joel Alvarez is going to absolutely bomb right hands all over Chinny and Jaquani. Chitty and Jaquani. Although he's coming off a loss, he lost to Yaroslav Amosov. who honestly, I'm being so dead ass. If you right now made me pick who's gonna win a fight between Yaroslav Amosov and like Carlos Prates, Ian Garry, Islam Makhachev, I'm thinking about it. I have to think. I can't pick. I can't confidently right now pick Garry, Makhachev, or Prates to beat Yaroslav Amosov. And that's who just beat Yoel Alvarez. It's not a bad loss at all. It's not. It's actually, it's going to be a loss that ages well because he didn't get slimed in the first. Or he didn't get brutally beat down. I think I was at that fight. I was there. He's damn good, brother. He's damn good. Yaroslav Amosov is him. Yoel Alvarez found some shots, not bombs, but he was able to land. And that's exactly what he's going to do to Chidi Njokuani. He's going to land a lot of right hands, and I believe the kicks are going to be a big problem. I see this fight ending by beautiful weave back from Alvarez, right hand rocks him, followed up by the front head kick. Boom! Kevin Lee style, baby. This is going to be I'm taking Joel Alvarez by knockout in the second round. I believe this is going to be a head kick knockout. I'm trying to make a sick call for like a TikTok. Let's start the edit. Joel Alvarez is going to get the head kick knockout. Book it. All right. Now if that hits, I got an aura clip. Okay, starting the fucking main card. I mean, Edson Barbosa versus Esteban Rivovic. Poor Barbosa, man. He's gonna get done. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. I just found I lifted this. I'm not even shitting you guys. I lifted this up and I found something I've been looking for like a month. Whoops. Anyway. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. Barbosa's old. He's washed. This is a setup fight for Ribovic. They want another Argentinian star so they can end up going to Argentina for a fight night for Kevin Vallejos versus oh my God. Kevin Vallejos should fight like the loser of Gene Silva versus Yair Rodriguez. Or anyway, let's get back to the fight, dude. I'll talk about Kevin Vallejos later. Esteban Rivovic, they're setting him up to be another Argentinian star. Edson Barbosa is also just old. While there is the absolute fluke factor from Edson Barbosa throwing up some absolute insane spinning shit, I just think Ribovic is going to be too disciplined, too locked in on what he wants to do to allow Edson Barbosa to find these shots. I believe Ribovic is going to utilize the clinch and the takedown in this fight a lot, especially when he feels like he's in danger. It's just bad matchmaking. There's so many better fights you could give both of them, because while at the same time you're trying to build the star level of Ribovic, it's not even like Barbosa's a massive name anymore. While he still does have some of the crazy knockouts, there just is the problem of I think he's in his 40s. I was gonna say I think he's damn near 40. I think he is 40. Let me check. He might be 42. I'm not even joking. Oh no, he's 40 on the dot. I mean, he's 40 years of age. The man is 40. Yeah, give me Ribovic. Probably he's gonna find a submission. Just shitty matchmaking. again from the UFC. This whole card is shittily matchmaked. Just a ton of just fights that just don't need to happen. And the fact that we now you know what? Now that I'm on the main card, I want to discuss this a bit more. Where the fuck is Joe Pyfer? And I'm not mad at them. I guarantee, even if they were offered like a fighter like ranked below them to fight in Philly, they would have done it. That's the Philly way. That's what they do there. That's the Joe Pyfer way, at least. Where's Joe Pyfer on this card? Where is Sean Brady? Where's Pat Sabatini? Where are they? You're in Philly for the first time since, I believe, like Rashad Evans versus Tito Ortiz, maybe? I think. Maybe that was the last time they had like a numbered event there. This card fucking sucks. This card is ass. Genuinely. It's not a numbered event. This should not be a numbered event. This is terrible. Dustin Stoltzfus is on a main card. Actually, you know what? Let me look up something else. UFC fighters from Philadelphia. Sean Brady, Jeremiah Wells, he's there. Joe Pyfer. I fucking hate that it takes me to AI mode first. This is stupid. And AI. Oh, I guess they don't have as many fighters as I thought. But you needed the Philly Joe Pyfer for this card. And there were so many fights you could have done at middleweight. Him versus Borjayo is a banger of a fight for Philly. Because I think he wins that fight. And then he gets a fucking... You let Joe Pyfer be Philly trash in front of Philly. It would have been perfect. The post-fight speech Joe Pyfer would have gave. The press conference. Everything would have been 10 times better. Because you want to know who he also would have fucked with? He would have fucked with Ian Garry. Ian Garry would have been like, can I take this one, champ? Can I answer that for you? This guy's a loser, man. This guy Ian Garry's a loser. Joe Pyfer would have been trashing Ian Garry. It would have been great. Where's Slick Mick Parkin? No, I'm kidding. Mansour Abdulmalik versus Dustin Stoltzfus. I'm pretty sure Mansour Abdulmalik's coming off getting absolutely boomsticked by Cesar Almeida. After dropping him, he got boomed. Absolutely boomed. Dustin Stoltzfus sucks. They're trying to make Mansour Abdulmalik a star. That's why he's got the purple shorts. They're setting up another first-round knockout here. Mansour Abdulmalik is going to come out there throwing bombs. It's going to literally look like Ngannou versus Rosenstruik, where he comes out there swinging for heads. It's going to be bad for Dustin Stoltzfus. The fact that this would have actually been great as like co-main event for like the Sal Killed versus Damrock card would have actually been unreal. But yeah, I mean, this is a pure setup fight for Mansour Abdulmalik to win. Give me him by first round knockout. Featured fight of the card, Jalen Turner versus Cowboy Fernandez. Super hard to pick here. Really hard for me to pick. I'm a very big fan of Jalen Turner, especially after his fight with, I believe it was it Ribovich, where he retired and took some time to himself because he was still a young guy and he was pushed to the top pretty quick. I believe him now taking these slower fights where he's going to be able to get more up his crafty level. I think it's going to be a big advantage for him. But Cali Fernandez is a good fighter, man. This is a... Stop clicking out of it every time, man. Cali Fernandez is good. I just think there's just going to be too much of an advantage in the reach for Jalen Turner. I believe I'm going to start punching the camera. I want to start showing shit. I believe that Jalen Turner's going to be able to stay back, jab, jab, and when Cali Fernandez comes in, he's very quick and light on his feet because he's... See, I'm going to stand up and do this. For the first time ever, just so you guys know, I'm not there's no guru allegations. He's going to be able to jab. Let me move this. So jab, jab, come back, and then throw the straight right. Because Cali Fernandez is going to have to overextend a bit to reach Jalen Turner because he's the smaller guy. He's going to have to fake in, fake low to come in. And as he comes in, there's also Jalen Turner. He's got the knees. He's got elbows. He's got a lot of tools. He's got uppercuts. The one thing that does worry me for Jalen Turner, takedowns. If Cali Fernandez is able to get this fight to the ground, I believe it does cause problems for Jalen Turner because of just how big he is and he doesn't weigh as much. It's kind of like... It's not... Imagine you're trying to wrestle up, but you're wearing high heels in a sense where it doesn't feel like where your foot should be. I don't know why I just clapped like that. Where your foot should be is where your foot should be. You just I'm a tall guy. I'm the same height as Jalen Turner. I have... Let's do math as a team. Right now, I'm currently 234. I'm 6'3". And let's subtract 155. I'm almost 80 pounds heavier than Jalen Turner. And if you look at me, some people might say, I'm a bit on the heftier side, but I'm not a fat ass. I'm not fat as fuck. It's hard for Jalen Turner to be this small and this skinny. That's why I think the ground game will be a bit of an issue for him if it gets there. But I do believe he's going to be able to, if he does get taken down, hopefully it's toward the end of the round. Because I believe if he gets taken down early in the first, I believe it's going to be a quick night. I just believe being that big at this division against these killers with great jiu-jitsu, I believe it's just going to be, especially if you're dry, I believe Cali Fernandez is probably going to be able to find a submission or something like that. But as the fight goes on, they get more sweaty and slippery. I believe it's going to be Jalen Turner's going to be able to disengage from the clinch, find more shots that he's not, because I believe the first round is going to go Cali Fernandez's way. For this fight, I would say try and wait to live bet Jalen Turner once the odds flip, because I think Cali Fernandez is going to immediately try and go for takedowns, which people are going to be like, oh, he's just going to wrestle fuck him. Try and live bet Jalen Turner for this fight. That's my bet. I'm going to be picking Jalen Turner by decision, 29-28. Next fight on the card. Women's MMA, where they're both going to try and be grappling. Okay. What a fight. Combined 13 losses in this title fight. Combined 2 losses in the main event. This is such a close fight. I'm not not saying things because I don't care. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put my money, because both of these women are such high level jiu-jitsu where I don't know if they're going to be able to find submissions on each other, because this is not like an instance where either like even like their wrestling is a big advantage, because it's not like a Moicano versus Islam, which obviously not a great example because Islam is literally a fight away from being, in my opinion, the greatest of all time. That's just what I think. I think they're just going to be so equally matched on the ground that it's going to be tough to score the fight there. I just believe Mackenzie Dern is more capable on the feet, with the jab, and with like the outside movement. My only worry is Jillian Roberts on such a good win streak, and the UFC would, quite honestly, I'm being serious, would probably prefer Jillian Robertson be the Canadian champion than Mike Mallet, even at 170, and this is a women's weight class. Jillian Robertson just is like she just is Canadian. I'm not saying Mike Mallett's not Canadian, but like look at her. She dyes the hair red. Gimme. Oh. Smart money. Give this fight to go to decision. I just don't think there's going to be a submission threat. But if I actually, like, gun to my head, have to pick a woman here, we're going to do this. Heads, Dern, tails, Robertson. It's tails. Give me Jillian Robertson. I was going with this the whole time. Jillian Robertson by 48-47 decision. Yeah. I mean, if this wasn't the main event, just because of the absolute magnitude of this fight, like say this main event was like Volk versus Evloev, this would be a much different video. This would be a much different video. I can't stand Ian Garry. I cannot stand him. Genuinely seems like you couldn't pay me to hang out with Ian Garry. Ian Garry seems like he tries so hard to be liked, but everything he says is just poison to the ears. The only problem with that is he would beat my ass so bad that there's not much I can say. Islam, well, me and him, like, obviously, like, me and him obviously wouldn't be, like, best friends. We have a ton of differences and stuff. He wouldn't, like, he would think I'm too much, because just, like, he's a calm, reserved guy. I'm not. But I think if, like, me and Islam Makhachev, like, say, like, we genuinely want to have, like, a cordial conversation, I could have one with him. I think we could actually talk about a lot of interesting things. I would love to talk to Islam Makhachev. That would be awesome. Like, if I could, imagine I got to interview Islam Makhachev, there is so much I would love to ask and learn from him. If I got the chance to talk to Ian Garry, I'm saying something that's going to get my ass beat in front of him. I don't care. I don't like him. But he's so good! For a long time now, I've been looking for a better Dustin Poirier. That's what I thought would beat Islam Makhachev. And quite honestly, I thought that was JDM. I thought JDM was literally a perfectly, like, just a bigger Dustin Poirier. I thought that JDM was going to be the one that would able to scramble with Islam, fight the takedowns, and be able to land shots. But the difference between Dustin Poirier and JDM. It seemed like JDM was. I'm trying not to. I love JDM. I just want to preface that. Literally one of my favorite fighters. He's on my He's on my wall. This is my I can't. How do I like? This is my like. I gotta get the computers. Let me dim the computer screen for a sec for you guys. This works. No. Okay. Well, this is like my fighter wall of fame. I got Pereira, Diego Lopez, Connor, Yuri, Volk, and then my autographs are Strickland, JDM. I have a Poirier, an Aspinall, and a Peter Yan. So JDM is on my wall of like heroes, basically. These are guys I look up to that I enjoy watching. They like whenever they fight, I will be there. I will be watching 100%. It seemed like JDM was okay with being on bottom because he had Craig Jones in his corner and he would throw up just not great submissions, to be honest, or him shooting the takedown in the second round was tough. But the other big thing is in this fight, perfect. This is the octagon. Ian Garry versus Islam, or JDM versus Islam took place here. It took place in the middle. JDM pressuring, Islam pressuring. It's a lot harder to stuff a takedown in the open. It's much easier to stuff a takedown against the fence where you have something supporting your back. Ian Garry has no problem being in a boring fight. He has zero problem. And well, many people are like, oh, it's a boring way to fight. No, it's a very smart way to fight. If you have stupid power, like a Michael Morales, yeah, fighting like Ian Garry would be a stupid and boring way to fight because it would not work for him. Ian Garry is not going to go in there and knock someone out with one punch. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. He does not have that power. If he whips up a head kick, absolutely. His head kicks are unreal. We'll get to that later. Ian Garry today, I believe, had an interview where he's like, I might pull out a reverse jumping hurdle like Saquon Barkley. And Megan O'Leary goes, oh, you saw that clip? He goes, no, I watched that live. Bullshit! You were not watching Eagles versus fucking Jaguars at 4:25 p.m. on a fucking Sunday. My ass. Let's see. Eagles versus Jags. That was November 24th, 2020, or November 3rd, 2024. Ian Garry, November 2024, let's say. So, you know what? I apologize. Ian Garry was initially booked to fight in UFC Tampa against Buckley. So he might have been in Florida where the Jaguars are. Maybe. I won't grill him for that. Ian Garry's going to stay on the outside of this fight. He's going to. He has to. If he goes to the middle, he's going to get taken down. And I don't believe his scrambling is good enough to where if he's not by the fence, he's going to get up. I don't believe anyone who's not by the fence is going to get up against Islam Makhachev. Unless you're literally an all-time great. I just see this fight being... I see this fight obviously going all 5 rounds. Here's my thought process. I already in my mind, this is a 4-round fight. Round 1 in my eyes is Ian Garry's already. I believe the first round is going to be the most boring shit you've ever seen, where Islam is trying to get him, and Ian Garry's, no, we don't do that. Don't do that. Don't fucking... He's not going to engage. He's going to stay at range with a much longer reach, jab, leg kick, T. Or probably not T, because if that gets caught, he's probably screwed. I could see Islam landing a takedown late in the first round, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. So in my eyes, what happens in the next 4 rounds? How does Makhachev cut off the cage to stop Ian Garry from running? Takedowns. But the hard part is Ian Garry's so tall that it is tough to get the single leg because you have to grab their foot and then like also push over. But because of how big he is, this is such a hard fight to pick. Because I don't like Ian Garry at all. But I absolutely can see him winning this fight. 100%. With the odds being what they are, let me look something up. Can I click odds and see more odds or no? Is that not how that works? No. Makhachev by points odds. Okay, cool. Give me Ian Garry, man. I'm sorry. I want Islam Makhachev to win. I cannot fathom how annoying Ian Garry is going to be if he has a belt. But it's the worst possible outcome, so it's going to happen. But anyway, oh my God, stop. If you're not there, first fight of the night for Miktabek Orabah, don't even watch. Like the main event starts first for ball knowers. Have a good one, guys. Bye.